Hey lighting fanatics, today I'm going to be showing you this vintage Lithonia Lighting S140 single lamp F40T12 fluorescent strip light. Now some of you guys may recognize this strip light from some of my earlier videos, especially my shorts. I've had this for about 3 years and I've been using it as sort of a testing fixture for F40T12 lamps because being a single lamp fixture, it's a lot less awkward to use for that purpose versus a 2-lamp rapid start fixture where the lamps are wired in series. Unfortunately, this fixture came with one of those cheap low power factor rapid start ballasts in it when I got it. I believe the model number is the Advanced RL140TP, and that ballast crapped out on me after I had the fixture for about a year, so then I decided to just shelve the fixture for a while. And then earlier this year, I finally got back to this fixture and I got a new ballast for it, a much nicer one, some new lamp holders, and a new cord with a switch for it. So now this fixture has been upgraded pretty nicely, so I thought why not make a long form video of it now. It's the perfect time to do so. Here's a closer view of what the fixture looks like. It's a pretty bog standard F40T12 single lamp strip light. There's what the bottom of it looks like, or I guess what would be the top. And here's what it looks like from the perspective of being mounted to the ceiling. Quite standard. As far as physical condition goes, it's not too bad. The paint on the channel cover, I don't know if you can tell, but it's getting a little bit baked. It's got like those micro cracks or whatever they're called in it. And that's just going to be from the heat of the lamp over the years. I believe this fixture is about 40 to 50 years old, so can't really fault it for that. The sides are still in pretty good shape. Yeah, not too bad, really. And of course the bottom is still nice and, shiny and smooth because that's not really been exposed to the elements yet. Here's what one of the end plates look like. It's the same on both sides. We do have a knockout in the middle here, and we have what look like knockouts for a switch, like a pull chain, but they're not actually knockouts. They're just bumps on the end. They're purely decorative. So I don't know what's up with that. You can't put a switch on this fixture natively. Alright, I'm going to remove the channel cover from the fixture now, so that we can take a look at the inside. It is done properly on this fixture where we have one of these turning things, then it just comes right off. No push on, clip on, whatever they're called, nonsense on this fixture. And here's a quick overview of the internals. There's a nice ballast that I got for it. And there's the other end. One thing that's kind of interesting about this fixture is that the lamp holder brackets are not painted white like the rest of the fixture. They're like unfinished steel or whatever this is made of. They're not painted white like everything else is. And apparently that's something Lithonia did on these fixtures before the mid-1980s. So this fixture must be from before the mid-1980s. You can see it's like that on both ends. Very interesting. You don't really see many fixtures like this. I happen to have two new old stock versions of this fixture from 1998. You can see that the lamp holder brackets on these ones are painted white like the rest of the fixture. And here's the ballast that currently resides in this fixture. This is not the one that it came with. I got this one new old stock on eBay. It's a universal 412L SOH TCP ballast from 1989. Of course, it's an energy-saving high power factor ballast, so it only takes 0.44 amps versus whatever the full power version takes. I'm not entirely sure. Really nice, good quality ballast. Universal ballast from this era were very good. The ballast that came with this fixture, as mentioned earlier, was an advanced RL140TP, and that ballast looked like it could have been original because it was wired in pretty good. You know, there were no wire connectors between the wires. They were actually inserted properly into the lamp holders. But that ballast must have been a replacement because it was dated 1992. And we've already established that the fixture was manufactured before the mid-1980s due to these lamp holder brackets. At least that's the info that I've heard online about these fixtures. Unfortunately, this ballast being sold as a replacement ballast, it came with short leads on it, so I did have to extend some of them with extra wires, but oh well, at least it works nicely. These are not the lamp holders that came with the fixture when I got it. The ones that came with were standard donut slot lamp holders, one standard one and one circuit interrupting one. And those lamp holders were getting kind of worn out, especially the wire terminals on them. So I decided to just replace them. I chose these Y or V slot lamp holders. They go by a couple different names because these make it a lot easier to take the lamps in and out of the fixture, and they also seem to wreak less havoc on the lamp pins when they're inserted and removed, which is kind of important when it comes to a fixture for testing lamps. Here is the label of the fixture. It's a pretty standard Lithonia Lighting label of the era. I'm honestly not a huge fan of these labels. They're kind of vague and generic. They don't really give a model number or a date code or a lamp type or any information like that. They're very generic labels that they just stuck on whatever fixtures that they were making. There's also some wording embossed into the fixture body itself. When installed, any open end shall be closed by end plate. Duh. And if supply con is 3 inches or less from ballast, use wire suitable for at least 90 degrees Celsius. That's pretty standard on these fixtures. Here's the cord set that I put on this fixture. Like all the cords that I put on my fixtures, this was custom made out of bulk 18-free cable. I did put an inline switch on this one because I didn't want to modify the fixture putting a standard switch on it. So I thought that this would do. Works pretty nicely. And of course we just have our standard 3-prong plug. This is not the original cord that I put on the fixture when I got it. The original one was much shorter and it didn't have a switch. Alright, let's get the fixture reassembled here. Of course, we have our channel cover, which we just have to line up there, and then twist on the little clip, and that is ready to go. And then here is the lamp that we're going to be using for demonstration. It is a Philips F40CW from 1988, which is period correct to the ballast but not the fixture. So let's get this installed here. There we go. Alright, I have the kilowatt meter set up here. So let's get this plugged in and we are ready for testing. I am first going to start up the fixture with the lights on. We'll get our power readings and then we'll turn the lights off. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Ooh, really nice rapid start up and really nice lamp too. Alright, and let's check our power consumption. So we're running at 124 volts. We're drawing 0.48 amps, which is a little bit more than the ballast is rated for, 0.44. 55.6 watts, so about 16 watts of ballast loss. And a power factor of 0.92, which is a little bit less than it really should be. However, the ballast is also 37 years old, so I think we can cut it some slack for a slightly lower power factor. Let's turn the lights off. Alright, let's check out how bright the fixture is. Looks pretty good. It's definitely lighting things up here. Of course, we have some flicker bands on the camera from the magnetic ballast, inducing a flicker in the lamp. It does look pretty bright in here. Pretty impressive for a single lamp fixture. Usually these are rather dim. But I think that's because many of these come with those horrendous low power factor, underpowered residential grade ballasts like this used to have. Although this is intended to be a test of the fixture more so than the lamp, we can still test the CRI of this old Philips F40CW lamp. As expected, the yellows and blues are the most well-represented wavelengths from this lamp, and the reds are kind of lacking. The reds are definitely being washed out into more of an orangey red than a true red. Very nice fixture, though. This is a lot nicer than how it came to me with that high power factor universal ballast. Really nice, good quality ballast. Let's give the fixture a couple more starts before we turn the lights back on. Pretty respectable rapid start. Alright, well, there you have it. The Lithonia Lighting S140 single lamp F40T12 fluorescent strip light. If you enjoyed what you saw, be sure to leave a like down below. Feel free to leave a comment, and if you want to see more cool lighting videos in the future, be sure to subscribe. See you next time.